Now that Quinn Hughes is on the Minnesota Wild and the Central Division looks stacked, let's go back and rank the top 10 best divisions in the wildcard era. Starting off, we have the 15-16 Central Division. They had the defending champion Chicago Blackhawks, the high-scoring Dallas Stars, and the physically dominant St. Louis Blues. This division also had really good depth all the way down to the bottom. There was a time when going through California was the toughest of all road trips. In 2013-2014, the Ducks finished first in the West. The Sharks had already been a great regular season team for a decade, and the Kings were one of the most physically tough teams to play against, and they would win their second Stanley Cup. Then we have the 23-24 Central Division. The top three of Dallas, Winnipeg, and Colorado all finished in the top 8 of the league standings, and Nashville finished their season on a 25-3 run. The 22-23 Atlantic Division had the best regular season team of all time, the 3-time defending Eastern Conference champs, and the soon-to-be 3 consecutive Eastern Conference champs. However, I think the Pacific Division was more dominant that season. It was probably the best Kings team since their 2014 Cup win, and the Kraken were one of the best 5-on-5 teams in the league. The Oilers were 1 year shy of going to back-to-back finals, and the Golden Knights won the Stanley Cup. 21-22 was a bizarre season where the top 16 teams dominated the bottom 16. One of the best divisions that year was the Atlantic, where the Florida Panthers scored the most goals in a single season since the 95-96 Penguins, and were 1 year away from dominating the East. The Lightning had just won back-to-back cups, and in this season they went all the way to the finals. The Bruins being fourth with 107 points speaks volumes to how dominant this division was. But this same season, there was actually a better division. The 21-22 Central Division contained what I think is the most dominant team from start to finish since the 1980s. That's the Stanley Cup winning Colorado Avalanche. And in my unpopular opinion, I actually think these Blues were better than the 2019 Cup winning team. The Wild were also fantastic that year, and the Central Division occupied 5 of the 8 playoff spots. The 15-16 Metro Division was dominated by the Capitals-Penguins rivalry. They met in the second round, and the consensus was that whoever won that series would probably win the Stanley Cup, which the Penguins did. The Rangers were also a great team, although they did decline compared to the 2 previous seasons. And the Islanders and Flyers weren't too shabby either. Last season, the Central Division had the President's Trophy-winning Jets and the Cup-contending Stars and Avalanche. But in addition to these 3 juggernauts, the Wild were deceptively good. They would have finished with more points, but they were extremely injured. And the Blues were the best team in the league after the Four Nations tournament as they went on a 24-3 run. This entire top 5 was outstanding, but in my opinion there was one division that was better. And that's the 16-17 Metro. This division was so good that the Rangers finished only 1 point behind the Atlantic leading Canadiens. The Blue Jackets seem out of place, but they were actually really good this season and had a 16-game winning streak. But of course, this was in the peak of the Capitals-Penguins rivalry. Both finished top 2 in the league, and just like the previous season, whoever won the second round matchup between them was probably going to win the Cup. Once again, the Penguins won the series and won the Stanley Cup. Here's a review of the full top 10 list, and here are some honorable mentions. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments.